The gym is my safe space. Not because I like working out or anything, but I just enjoy the ambiance. I'm not gonna lift a weight or anything, but you better believe I'm gonna be hanging by the water cooler, licking my lips as soon as someone walks by. As a certified gym rat myself, meaning I'm there mostly for the smells, I spend a lot of my time observing people's comings and goings, which is ironically semi-related to what we're going to be talking about today, and more specifically about a woman named Maddie Rivet. Now, that was an unintentional pun when I said we're talking about people's comings, but when it comes to the regards of Maddie, that is literally what we're talking about. Because you see, Maddie is an OF model, who in spite of having possibly the most Cajun name available, is in fact based out of Los Angeles, California. 2 notes on that before we move on. Maddie, please let me borrow your name, or at least have it, because my retirement plan involves me dressing up like Colonel Sanders and living in the bayou, and with a name like that, they may as well declare me king. Well, I'm just a simple cutter named Maddie Rivera. There's 2 things I don't like. One being bear gumbo and black people. And 2, for the love of God, please, please ladies, stop moving to California, Los Angeles if you do OnlyFans. There is nothing there for you that is going to make you famous. You do OnlyFans. This might come as a shock to you, but you can pull silly string out of your butthole from any part of the world. And I can also guarantee that there's not some secret Hollywood agent watching you who saw you goat throat a cucumber and suddenly thunk to themselves, oh my God, this is the next big Hollywood thing. It's not gonna happen. Get out of that city, because at this point it's a parody of itself. And also, if Maddie is anything to go by, apparently none of you guys can behave yourselves anyway. Because you see, Maddie committed the cardinal sin of the gym. You go there to look hot. You don't go there to get hot. Meaning, if I'm getting on a squat rack, that fluid I'm feeling on the back of my neck as I go down for a dip better be from human sweat and not human excrement. However, Maddie's inability to follow this cardinal rule of the gym resulted in some interesting consequences. And I feel it's probably best if I just show you.
My leg day warm up?
No, don't give me that bullshit. I know you know what you're doing. So actually,
A leg day warm up?
no, you're actually on the first. You're actually wrong with girls. You're actually wrong with girls.
Are you pointing at me? Stop!
This is fucking ridiculous. Don't come to my gym and do this shit. You can do it online, bro. Don't fucking do this on my gym. Don't fucking.
Now, if you're a regular Dino viewer, I have no doubt that you regularly struggle to talk to other human beings and understand emotions. So let's go for a step-by-step of what happened in that video. Obviously, and quite clearly, if you spent any time in the gym, you recognize immediately that the stretches that Maddie is doing, or that she's claiming to do, are completely ineffective and just pure nonsense. If you were trying to stretch the groin, the most effective way of doing this would be something along these lines, where you put pressure on the inner groin by leaning down. I know this is a fact because I spent a lot of my youth playing football, and hamstring injuries was something you wanted to avoid, and I also spent most of my youth attempting to suck my own cock. So let's just say I got really good at flexibility. Now, if a hunk of a man like me knows that, who I know I said I didn't really work out but I used to, and this hunk of a man used to focus on muscle groups as opposed to legs, you would feel that a petite woman like this would be familiar with the correct way to stretch, especially considering just by looking at her build and the stripper pole I saw in one of her Instagram posts, she is a relatively fit woman. So putting my Sherlock detective hat on, I am left with the only conclusion that Maddie was trying to film some sort of OnlyFans promotion in the gym, and then was accosted, let me tick off my big word of the day, by this stranger for doing so. Now, OnlyFans promotion or not, this stranger is a dick, and I feel quite safe in saying that he has a few issues of his own because of how aggressive he was with Maddie. The gym is not a public space. By all rights, it's a private space that you pay for the right to use. And if I'm paying a gym fee of £20 a month, but remember this is probably California, so let's say $100 a month plus your newborn baby, I'd expect to see the other people using the gym in a respectful manner. AKA, I don't want to see anybody in that space bent over and taking starfish selfies. Now, does that give me the right to go over to a much, much smaller person, and as a byproduct, much, much more vulnerable person, and verbally abuse them and damage their property? But of course, because I'm a man and she is a whore! No, of course it doesn't. But Maddie should also know better, because she should know she shouldn't be filming OnlyFans promotions in a public space. And we know you know what you're doing in spite of your protests.
Okay, this exercise is actually beneficial for you. I don't know why no one has heard of these. So just because I do OF, I'm not allowed to stretch at the gym.
Because specifically our videos like this and the real nail in the coffin being dug up by our very own Mr. Joey Swole.
She tries to defend herself saying that she's doing pistol squats and warming up. This is not a pistol squat. You know exactly what you were doing. And then you go and say, why do we have to sexualize everything? We don't, but you do, including when you did the exact same warm up and said this on the video and put in the caption, practicing every day to please you, daddy.
We know, you know that we know that you know that we know you know that what you're doing is what you know. And that's fine. What I don't like about it is the fact that she won't admit that's what she was doing. What happened to you sucks and it shouldn't have happened to you despite the circumstance. But if I was the ceremonial judge of the gym, I'd be slamming down a ban hammer on both of you. First, the guy who's going around kicking strangers' phones because homie's got roid rage. And then second, certainly the woman who's trying to solicit herself in my business. Furthermore, I'd like to say for the record, second big word of the day, that I am not saying that Maddie deserved what happened to her in spite of what she was doing. This guy clearly has some issues in his head, and the only reason he went towards Maddie and got aggressive with her was because she's a small petite woman. He's a coward, because he knows if he went up to another man, chocolate starfish promotion or not, he would get clapped like a boos. But Maddie herself is also just being plain disrespectful for everybody else in her surroundings. My issue isn't with you filming your OnlyFans promotion. My issue is you filming your OnlyFans promotion in a public space and subjecting other people to it. I didn't agree to be in your porno. If you want to hire a gym after hours or buy a weight bench and do it, hell yeah, bro. But I'd be upset over this for the same reasons I'd be upset if this was happening at Disneyland. I'm there to look at kids. I'm not there to look at you. God, it's a bit too far. Point being, let me focus up, homie. I got a job to do. Just like at Disneyland. And just like you do, because your job is to legally subscribe to Dino. Thanks for watching, homies, as always. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.